Let's have the meal.
Tell me something else too, because your knowledge of Black history was so intense. I'm just, as I analyzed your video, you just didn't learn that by switching on the broadcast live app and then say this is what it is. This all came off the top of your head, so that just let me know you know a lot about Black history.
I'm Black. I tell people I'm Black, and I've been Black 3 times. I was a Black baby, I was a little Black girl, now I'm a grown Black woman.
But there's plenty of them out there today that have no clue about Black history. You mentioned Christopher Addicks. You talked about the Stockholm Syndrome. And I was like, holy cow. I was like, I took African American history in high school, not as an elective, but that was a requirement when I was coming up. These kids today don't know nothing about no African American history.
Okay. I'm very fortunate. One in my life, one of the things that I treasure more than anything else is where I was raised and how I was raised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they don't. I don't think that they look at African American history as anything that they should be learning. That's what I was making that point. So,
I'm not learning anything. You got grown women that don't know how to run a house.
Yeah.
They don't know how to keep house. They don't know how to properly clean a house. They don't know how to cook a meal. They don't know how to set a table. That's why you got all these little boys whining with this plate debate. Well, should a woman fix my plate? Hell no. She should set the table. She should set the table, and the family together around the table, and you serve yourself from there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At a holiday gathering, should my girl fix my plate? No. What's wrong with you? Are you a little boy? You must be eating at the children's table. You must be over in the corner trying to balance your plate on your lap. Grown men sit at the table.
Oh, Lord. So
table already set.
So how many folks have asked to interview you? I know you got the syndicated show. I know, but now that this has gone viral, you have gone viral. I don't know if that's a good thing to say to you or not, but you have gone viral. And I noticed today in your live post that the minute you came on, I saw you go from a couple of folks, and then the next thing I saw was 927, and then I saw 1,227. I was like, good Lord, folks are waiting to hear your wisdom. Does that surprise you?
It's very humbling. I posted a post about 3 years ago. I started making video. I started making video posts about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I made one that was specifically talking to women, and it took off. It didn't get 3 million. It was played, and about 2 weeks later, Michael Basin got a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a week or so, but Michael Basin got a hold of it, and that introduced me to a following. It secured me a following of maybe 25,000, 30,000 people. To know that in a week's time, 50,000 people have gotten on my page, that's kind of... I have 50,000 more followers in the last week than I had before.
Good grief.
Yeah, because before that video, I think I had about somewhere between 25 and 30,000. I think now it's somewhere around 81,000.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it's still growing. This hasn't died. This is still going.
Right, it's still going and it's still growing, and it just makes me ever aware of why I'm here. And I know that there are people who do not believe. I know that God is real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way that some people try to package him and sell him, but God is real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But is this also scary, though, that you have that many followers? Because here's the point that I'm trying to make, and you tell me what you think. You laid down a whole lot of wisdom, and as I watch the, I guess as the verbiage is rolling as you're talking, I see people typing their comments too. Especially when you start talking about a woman and a child, a young girl that needs to learn this wisdom and how you're treating a man. Because one of the sayings that you had was, "A man ain't a plan. You need to do this, do this, and do this, and do this." And I saw a lot of the activists try to get up there and say, stop just blaming women because they end up being the victims. You believe that?
That's not true. See, what has happened is that a lot of very bitter women have decided that you're not a victim. You choose the men that you allow in your life.
Mm-hmm.
The only woman that does not choose a man is a woman in an arranged marriage or a rape victim. Okay? You choose who you lay with. You choose who you let in your life. You choose that. And you make these choices based on the assumption that this man is going to save you. He's going to come and pick you up from your miserable existence, or he's going to pick you up because you're young and cute and fine, and he's going to give you all of it. Cinderella was a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was a white woman. Okay? And if a black woman gets invited to the ball, she's going to have to buy her own dress, get her own hair done, get her own nails and makeup done. She's going to have to take a day off of work. And by the time she gets to the ball, because the odds are stacked against a black man, there are very few black princes out here.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to the ball, baby, it's going to be 1,000 other women ahead of you trying to get the attention of the prince. And guess what? When the clock strikes midnight, it's not so much that your coach is going to turn into a pumpkin, but you need to be at home because your black ass got to get up and go to work the next day.
Nah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Ain't no glass slipper.
Mm-mm.
See, the reason why I know that Cinderella was a white woman, she had a stepmother. The average black girl now is more likely to have a stepfather.
Right. That is true. That is true. Because he's about to have a stepfather that ain't in a...
Little black girls sit up and think that they're going to marry like their white counterparts. That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't as many well-established rich white boys. They're not as many. We don't have black boys who are inherited third and fourth generation money.
Mm-hmm.
Very few.
Right.
So, you got little white girls that play that. Little white girls, they get pregnant too. And they get married. But when they get married, little Joey has a trust fund.
Mm-hmm.
Or little Joey's parents give her parents $25,000. She goes on and has an abortion, and she goes on about her merry way. But these little girls have these babies. They think it's going to keep these men. And then when these men who never wanted to be fathers anyway don't stay with them, then they become bitter, vindictive little bitches because they have been trained by older, bitter, vindictive bitches.
Mm-hmm.
I see them all day, every day. These women are not victims. You plotted and schemed to get pregnant because there are no accidents now. You got 999 ways to keep them getting pregnant now.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody getting pregnant by accident now.
It's all planned.
10,000 ways to keep them getting a baby.
Right. One thing I didn't hear you address.
Diaphragms, IUDs, implants, pills. I mean,
one of the things too that I didn't hear you address yet, and I was waiting to see, and I was going to try to see what your comments were on this issue of what they're calling now that we need police reform, or that we need to teach our children how to drive and talk to the police when they get pulled over. How do you feel about that?
Okay, I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. It's a twofold thing. One, let's first look at how to behave with the police. You don't have to behave any differently with the police than you behave in general. Mm-hmm. And let's just face the fact that a lot of our children are out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know this is not going. A lot of people not going to be able to accept this. When the police whoops little JoJo's ass, we get upset because a white cop beat a black kid's ass. But you live in the neighborhood with that little arrogant, ugly bastard. And you've been wanting to whoop his ass for the longest. Let's just tell the truth now.
Mm-hmm.
He's arrogant, disrespectful. He's a nasty little bastard. You've been wanting to kick his ass. You know in your heart of hearts that just as sure as he had contact with the police, he doesn't have any respect for authority. He doesn't follow rules, and he's disrespectful kid. The thing is that the police whooped his ass. We're mad because a white policeman whooped his ass.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, had he been a little bit more respectful, a little wiser, a little smarter, you don't have a license, your license is suspended, your car's not in working order, stop. Well, lady, I got to get to work. No, go and get somebody to help you. Put a bad attitude and you got a nasty mouth. If I was the police, I might have would have bust you in your mouth. If your mama had to bust your ass in the mouth when you was at home, you might have not have got your ass whooped by the police. I'm talking about we doing some in-house cleaning now.
Mm-hmm.
This is for internal use only. This ain't for the public. Publicly, you can retrain your child or train your child how to interact respectfully with people, period. Don't just train your child how to deal with the police. Train your child how to interact with people on a respectful level, period.
Mm-hmm.
You teach your child, don't you be the one to pop off and be at fault. Now, you can do that. But the police are going to have to be retrained.
Right.
And white society in general is going to have to be retrained. But there are some young black folks who get their ass kicked by the police, whether it be a black policeman or a white policeman. They had it coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about that little bastard that, cussed his grandmama out.
Right.
You know them times.
It's plenty of them. We probably could call names. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got Lil Wee Wee and JoJo and Drake and Dee Dee them. They cussing their grandma out.
Yes.
Walk around with their pants falling off their ass, with them plaques falling in their face. You can't see them with them too big clothes on, with their mouth stuck out, and you can't tell them nothing. They need somebody to put foot in their ass anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, if he's that sorry and disrespectful, most of the time his mammy is too. But she said, "Oh, I'm a victim. I'm a single mother." I'm sick of hearing. I don't feel sorry for single mothers. I was one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I got divorced from the mother, I did not remarry anymore after my son's father and I divorced. I did not remarry. So I have been living as a single mother since 1992.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the last 25 years.
But there's a lot of help for anybody that's looking for it right there for them. If you're a single parent, whether you're a lady or a man, you need some help, you can get some help.
I don't buy that single parent sob story.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I don't buy that, because as soon as you try to chastise JoJo little ugly ass, she'll say you don't say nothing to my kids.
Right.
I don't want nobody saying nothing to my kids.
But wasn't the old pretense that it take a village to raise a child? What about that?
Well, it does. But see, you got to realize now, the fire done gone out of the village. Ain't nobody watching the fire.
Mm.
Women my age, they want to put quick weave in their hair. They want to paint their thing off. You know they got that thing now, 3 of the fingernails one color and 2 of the fingernails another color. You got women old as me, 45, 50 years old doing that mess.
Wow. Yes, indeed. Mm.
So when your mama ain't got no sense, you ain't gonna have no sense.
Mm-hmm.
You got mothers out here who are competing with their daughters for the same men.
Mm.
You got a 25-year-old daughter, and your boyfriend ain't but 32.
Hmm. And you the mama.
And you the mama.
Or your grandmama is 40 or 45.
Yeah, you 15. You 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you 3 years old and your grandmama 45, I can see that.
Mm.
Your grandmama was 22 when she had you, and your mother graduated from college and got married and had you at 24, 23. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
But you 15, your mama is 31, and your grandmama is 46.
Wow. Yeah. Babies raising babies. That's what it ends up being. Babies raising babies. But we all trying to be friends instead of being parents.
And your great grandmama is 62.
But we end up being more so friends than parents, though.
Well, people want to be their children's friend because they think that nobody wants to be an old lady. I've had people tell me they thought I was 60 or 65 years old. And I wonder, do I look that old?
No, you got wisdom that wisdom comes out like an older woman. But I think that's good. That's a good thing. That just lets you know that you ain't, you're not stupid, and you're not going to be sitting up there just seeing and hearing and believing in it.
I'm 49 years old this year. I'm not supposed to be bopping around here like no Tina Bopper. We don't have no grown folks no more. May I ask how old you are?
I am 51.
Okay, you're 51 years old. Do you remember when you was a little boy and you saw a 40 or 45-year-old man in the neighborhood?
You know what? I guess when I was coming up, everybody that was, in the neighborhood of 40, 50 years old, I respected them.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. When you were a boy and you were 45, you were a little boy. When you saw them men 40, 45, 50 years old, them was full-grown men. You didn't play with them men, did you?
Right, and they acted that way. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. My father wasn't there in my life. But everybody that was a grown man in my life, I had all my uncles, I had my cousins, and all of them that were older than I was. I respected them because they were the men in my life. And my grandmother and my mother made sure that, okay, you may not have your daddy, but they're going to teach you how to act like a man.
Exactly. But they were grown men. But now you have, look, and don't get me wrong, it's okay sometimes. But you Saturday, you going to the cookout, you put on your baseball cap, you might put on one of those old vintage jerseys from the Negro League and put your tennis, your gym shoes and your blue jeans on.
Mm-hmm.
But you got 45, 50-year-old men, that's their whole wardrobe.
Right.
There are 45 and 50-year-old men who walk around every day with athletic gear on.
Mm-hmm.
That Negro got 8 jerseys and 10 pair of tennis shoes, and he ain't got a dog suit to wear if his granny died today.
They trying to be that old pimp daddy. They trying to be the pimp daddy, sugar daddy.
Okay, and you 50 years old. And honestly, I go out socially on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
The average 45 or 50-year-old male that I see, they can't talk to me. Because they just as crazy as their son. You may as well be dating son. All I hear a bunch of black men talking about is sports, football. Anytime I listen to a man and his only topic of conversation is about sports or cars, that's not the brother for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I realize that people like sports, and I realize that may become a good portion of your conversation. But have you ever seen a bunch of grown men get together and all they can do is talk about sports?
Right.
They live vicariously through the athletes on the TV.
And don't have anything else as far as dialogue other than that.
No, I have a very dear friend that played professional ball, played professional football for the Green Bay Packers, and has done very well in life with his investments. He's done very well. He could be sitting in a room right now, and you would never know that he even played the game.
Mm.
He would watch the game, and if something came up, once you talked to him, you would realize that he had a vast knowledge of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a college graduate. He played professional football, played for the Green Bay Packers. And if he was in here on this sectional right now, in my living room, watching the game, you would not get all that hype from him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All that jumping up and down, screaming, talking to the TV and all that.
So how do we change a mindset, especially African-American males and females? Because it seems like to me that we got problems on both extenuating ends.
They have to be deprogrammed. They have to be deprogrammed. They have to first be taught who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be taught who they really are.
Well, you got to start with the babies now, because there might be a couple of lost generations in there.
Well, you have to start with ones that's little right now, and you can start with the ones that are 25 and under, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Those that are intelligent enough to go to college, those who are sticking in high school, in the school system, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Because I noticed that
you can reach some parents who want better for their children than they have had for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach them.
I noticed that here in New Orleans that they do. I know in New Orleans that they have started up these charter schools, and the charter schools start at the little bitty ages. You know, the preschools, the 1, 2, 3-year-olds in preschool. I'm sorry, in preschool, and then after the preschool, they go into the elementary schools, and that's where they're starting with them.
Charter schools are the biggest crock of shit ever been sold to the black people.
Yep, and I agree with you on it, because they try to make them sound like they're better than public schools.
No, they're not. They're not teaching them children. Excuse me for saying me very. They ain't teaching them shit.
Nope.
Same shit.
Well, I said too.
They ain't teaching them shit.
I told them this. I said, I don't understand this, and this is what I had never understood. We have had organizations to come in here and talk about, you know, this charter school that they want, and they have sold you a bill of goods on learning Mandarin and learning all this other stuff. And I said, wait a minute. The majority of the kids that go to public schools here are African-American kids. And you're trying to tell me that your school is good because you're teaching them how to be or talk Chinese, or you're teaching them the French way of doing business and livelihood and how they're living. But yet we have not had one school to say, I want your kid to come to this school because we're going to teach them how to be black.
That's not the school system's job. That's where the parents are trifling. You don't send your child to school for an education, because that's not what schools are in business for. Public schools are not in business to educate your children. Public schools are in business to teach your children how to conform and how to be good workers. Most of your presidents, entrepreneurs, they come out of very prestigious private colleges, high schools, and institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Barack Obama and Bill Clinton are the only two regular American men that have ever become president. Jimmy Carter was a peanut farm, but Jimmy Carter was a rich peanut farm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
So the Kennedys were already rich people. Those Kennedys are rich, and they did not become rich because they were president.
Mm-hmm.
The Kennedys were already rich people before JFK ever went into public office.
Right.
Black folk depend on anytime I hear a parent say, you know, them teaching up at that school ain't teaching my child nothing, I know that parent is trifling. The child's mother is his first teacher. Mm-hmm. And if you got a stupid ass woman, you're going to have some stupid ass children. But now, if you want to go back to the root of the problem, black men in general love stupid ass women. They love a dumb ass bitch.
You think so?
They love a dumb bitch.
Why so? Why do you think that? Tell me that. Tell me. I'd love to hear this reasoning.
Because the black man's ego is so fragile. That an intelligent, capable woman who is able to articulate what she wants, who communicates well. I'm not talking about one of these loud, ignorant women, but an articulate, intelligent woman that challenges a man. There's, you know, have you not been around bros and say, oh, that bitch thinks she's so much.
Right.
And she's really not stuck up. She's just an intelligent, articulate woman.
I had
all
that conversation.
I
just had that
conversation. Got too much mouth.
I just had that conversation with a very educated woman that has her doctorate. And she was saying the same thing. She was like, you know, I intimidate men.
No, she does not intimidate a real man.
Yeah, well, she was like, okay, these men that
because I have an uncle who has a high school diploma. Okay, I have a couple of them. They have a high school diploma. They are blue collar workers. They do not have a college degree. But at any given time and at any given moment, at any hour of the day, they can go and get liquid $500,000 cash right now. I know a lot of people with PhDs can't put their hands on $25,000 cash.
Right. Okay.
These are smart men. She wouldn't bit more intimidate my uncle than a man in the moon. He'll sit up there and let her talk. He'll appreciate her intelligence, because when you start telling me that somebody's educated because they got a degree, that's another thing that black people don't do. Black people cherish the education. They cherish the training of a white man more than they cherish the wisdom of their ancestors. The training, that's why the average Negro with a college degree is not truly educated. He's only highly trained. Because all that stuff that I was spitting on that video, a truly educated person ought to know that.
Right.
You educated, you ought to know that. That's why I know it's 10 of us, we have a college degree. We got more degrees than us mamas and ain't got no damn sense.
Right. How big does common sense play in the role of today's society? Because we always talk about who got book sense.
I can tell you this right here. Everything that I have gotten, everything that I have that's going for me positively in my life, the only thing I went to school for was learn how to be a nurse. Now, I learned nursing. And the foundation of every profession is common sense. You can't be a good doctor without common sense. You can't be a good lawyer without common sense. You can't be a good banker without common sense. So common sense gonna tell you got to keep up with what you got to count it, you got to make sure it's there, you got to account for it when it ain't there. That's common sense. You use them same principles if you sell eggs on the farm, honey.
Yes, indeed.
The only difference is common sense will do this. An educated banker will put a fool in there that's going to embezzle some money and think that he's doing something just because he got some degrees of who his name is, and he'll rob the bank blind. Common sense from down in the country where I come from would tell you, you don't let the fox tell you how many eggs you got in the hen house.
Because he going to lie to you anyway. That's letting the fox in the hen house.
Because the fox eating the egg.
Right. Yep.
Bill Gates does not have a college degree, does he?
Nope. And he's still number one.
Bill Gates built his empire off of good common sense.
So are you originally from Jackson?
No, I am originally from Monroeville, Alabama. Monroeville, Alabama is the little town where To Kill a Mockingbird was filmed.
Okay.
It was the town that the fictional Maycomb is in the book To Kill a Mockingbird.
And I guess
it's a little town in Alabama.
And I guess the other question I would ask is, what made you do these posts? What made you say, I need to talk to some people here and put some wisdom down? Because I know I got some followers, number one, but somebody need to hear what I got to say about the way that these folks are acting these days.
Well, this is what happened. I was on social media as I started using social media as a tool to connect with people on the circuit, on the performing, the club, the festival circuit, when I decided to start performing. And then I started looking at what people were using Facebook for. And then I realized that this is a good way to stir the pot, see where people's affections and feelings are, and it was a good way to kind of put your finger on the pulse of what people are doing, what they're thinking about, what demographic to market. I started using Facebook as a tool. My intention was to use it as a marketing tool to promote me and my music.
Mm-hmm.
And then, back here about 4 years ago, Facebook came out with the capabilities where you could record a video.
Right.
And I was busy, I was doing something, and it was so much easier for me to just say what I had to say into the camera rather than stop what I'm doing and type a status post. And I did. And when I started speaking to the camera or speaking and recording, I simply started addressing small topics. And one day I addressed one of the biggest problems that we have. Black men and black women don't know how to get along together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a black man. I'm not a white man. I addressed the women. And when I did, that video got a lot of circulation. For me to be an unknown person, it got a lot of circulation. And a lot of people started writing, telling me what they learned from the video. A lot of people started seeking my advice. And what I would do was simply let the person know that I'm going to leave you anonymous and I'm going to address this in a post. And by doing so, you will not only get my opinion, but you'll get other people's take on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started doing the video. And then, I think it was it last year, Facebook gave us the capability to go live.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of neat.
So do you think that this is the stepping stone? I'm trying to figure out, is this meaning that I should be on the lookout for the Crystal Tucker speaking tour conference somewhere?
the Crystal Tucker what?
Speaking tour conference or something that's going to come up in the next couple of months here?
I don't know. I don't know, because you have recorded me speaking not very much differently than I would speak if I were presenting something to an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that will be the case, because you have to realize people want to hear what makes them feel good. People don't want to hear what will make them live good. If you notice,
I don't know about that one.
When you go to these mega churches, the broadcasts that are broadcast on television, they're not saying anything, real serious to these people now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. They're not telling you. They're not telling you something that's going to hurt you. They're telling you. They're giving you more. So well, this is what I came up with that. A lot of the mega churches today, the pastor has become a motivational speaker instead of a pastor of the word that's going to do some good to change your life. They become motivation. T.D. Jakes is a motivational speaker now.
They're not motivational speakers. They're having an emotional pep, because a motivational speaker will tell you that you can change your life, and then they'll tell you what you need to do to change it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't motivate me. I'm carrying around some extra weight that I'm working on getting off.
Mm-hmm. But
I struggle with my weight. My weight is a battle. I don't need a personal trainer that can tell me, I believe in you. I know that you can count your calories. It is just a matter of you accepting where you are, finding out what your other talents are, and eventually, just small steps, you will be able to accept yourself and be happy with your weight. Don't worry about your health, because God is the grantor of divine health. That's a bunch of bullshit. I wouldn't pay a personal trainer to tell me no mess like that.
but that's the man of God telling you that. That's the man of God telling you that.
That's a waste of my time and money.
But understand
you need
something.
A personal trainer that can tell you have within you the ability to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You got to want it bad enough. This is where you are, but you cannot stay where you are. Your life will not change until you make a decision to change what you're doing. These are some of the things that you must stop doing and start doing in order to get where you want to be.
Okay, so let me use you for an example.
And then we get on and exercise.
All right, but let me use you for an example. This is you as the example for today, because I'm gonna disagree with you on one little bitty part, and that is
that's fine.
People don't necessarily want to hear something that's going to make them feel good as much today. Let me tell you why. First of all,
yes, they do.
Listen to me though. The number of
you
folks.
You have a small minority of people. You have a minority of people that want to hear the truth.
I believe that. I can believe that. But think about something. The number of folks that are going to church.
You find a niche market of people that will hear that.
The number of folks that are going to church down. Number of folks that go to church is down. There's not, the mega churches ain't making it like they were. You still got some of those that want to hear the good, feel good, let's all hold hands and sing kumbaya. Yeah, you still got those. But the number of folks that's going to church, tithes and offerings, all that's down. Because somebody said, and it's shown that, you know what, this ain't working for me. You keep talking to me about prosperity, and the only person that's prospering is the preacher.
It is a slow awakening.
But they coming woke.
It's slow awakening.
But they waking up. They waking up.
Now here's the thing. You have to understand this, and I ain't never been a white woman. I can't worry about white people. White people ain't my problem. My son is black. My granddaughters are black. My grandchildren black. My mama black. My whole family black.
Right.
Okay. You have to understand that most black people are not worshiping God.
They're worshiping the pastor.
They're not. Okay. Now, you also have to understand historically what the black pastor is. The black pastor was used as a conduit of good conduct. Pastor got a better suit of clothes. He got better food. He was treated better because his job was to go out there and pacify them niggas. Now,
keep him in line.
He was to go out there and pacify them niggas and read them scriptures to them that told them to be good niggas and obey their master and serve their master with all fear and trembling. That is why the debut of the movie Birth of a Nation was stifled. I know the basic premise of Nat Turner's story, but in that movie they showed how Nat Turner was used as an itinerant preacher. He was rented out from plantation to plantation to go around and preach, being passive to all these slaves. And when he refused to do it any longer, it was a problem.
Right.
And that is what religion has done to black folks. All we do is march. We pray and march, and we treat money like it's got leprosy on it. We don't want freedom. We want things. We don't want money. Black folks don't want no money.
That is the first conversation, the first part of the conversation that we had with Crystal Tucker out of Jackson, Mississippi, who has gone viral. I see on my Facebook page that there are plenty of folks that are agreeing and disagreeing and already having conversation about what she's talking about. Some folks don't like it. Some folks do. Some folks say that that's tea. Some folks said that that is a good conversation. Some folks are saying that she's a feminist. Some folks saying she's a womanist. What is a womanist? I don't know. And some folks are arguing the point that, you know what, this is a lot of information that is being shared. I apologize for the stream. I don't know what's going on, but y'all know every single time that we get out here and we start doing something that's going to make some difference and start talking about issues that folks don't want you to hear, for some reason, the stream starts going away. I don't know what that is. I have no clue, folks. Even Miss Joy called me and said, yeah, your stream keep going in and out. I'm trying to hear what this woman had to say. Some folks agree with it. Some folks disagree. That's just the first part of the conversation. So guess what? And just in case you didn't hear the conversation and you're saying that the stream keeps going out, but I'm trying to hear it, she keeps going out. Well, I always back it up because this is what I did. I recorded the whole thing. I recorded the entire program, and we'll play it back again for you. The whole program is recorded, and we'll play it back for you on the app about 12 noon today. And so be ready for that with none of the blackouts. So if you missed any part of it, you can get it today.